This is Radio Sabah calling from J7, North Borneo.
As Kadazan, I'm proud to be part of the largest ethnic indigenous group in Sabah, Malaysia or Borneo. It is my moral obligation to share with you the history and the origin and the legacy of our people so that our new generation can understand that our identity is known by God, given by God. We thank God for this time and season. Hear our story. Atagak no po ako'y tutunan. Ang atagak no Diyos. Atagak no po bos to Kadazan, nga atagak no giokoy tutunan to ko sa bagi no bangsa no Kadazan. Kapibusian non tabibibasan kumadi Diozu isawawi to binay ku Kadazan. Greetings to you all, my fellow Kadazan kin brothers and sisters. It is such a joy and privilege for me today to announce the formation of our NGO Non-Profit Company Organization under the name of Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center or KKLC. I'm happy to announce that after months of contemplating and doing the necessary mechanism and registration, the Suruhan Jaya Syarikat Malaysia have approved our application to be registered as an NGO and non-profit company organization. And so I can officially say that Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center has been duly registered as a legal entity in Malaysia. and even in Sabah. Now, Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center is basically an organization, a Kadazan organization. Kobion is actually the ancient word that is found in the Inite, which is the synonymous word of Kadazan. So when you talk about Kadazan Kobion or Tanga Tombingon, it is a poetry Inite that stand the ancient name and the modern name. So Kadazan and Kobion is the same. So I have in mind for many months and years to think about how to preserve the identity of the Kadazan, the culture of the Kadazan, and the language of the Kadazan. I am a Kadazan bishop based in my secretariat office in Thailand. And I have that kind of burdens and plan how to bring about an organization that can preserve the identity, the culture, and the language of my people, the Kadazan. As you know, Kadazan hails from Sabah, Borneo Island, one of the biggest indigenous ethnic people in Borneo Islands, and especially in the state of Sabah, Malaysia, and mostly from the west coast, part of Penampang, Papar, Putatan, Kinarut, and that places. That is where I was born. I was born in Penampang. We have our culture, we have our identity, and we have our language. We have been recognized by the British colonial and now the government of Malaysia as an ethnic tribes and indigenous group. Every year we celebrate a statewide harvest festival.
Untuk ngadau keamatan peringkat negeri tahun 2021 ialah untuk ngadau Uvang Kota Kinabalu tapi Maya Henoska.
Tunduk Kadazan kobion tobuk sinulampik di opihang panau nu opiodo ko kita nai mongon onibo ngaapan tu tunduk Kadazan kobion tobuk sinulampik di opihang panau nu opiodo ko kita nai mongon nu onibo ngaapan tu oy numangan ko tumoy mo.
And this is being supported by mainly the Kadazan society. We are concerned about the 20th century of how to preserve. And we do have an existing national cultural association such as the famous Kadazan Dusun Cultural Association, founded in 1960s. Well, one of my uncle called the Magnificent Seven who founded the Kadazan Cultural Association, Datuk Richard Wong Manning, is my uncle. And currently we have many Kadazan leaders. And we also have another association called the Kadazan Society of Sabah, or KSS, whereby my uncle, or we call it my mamay, Datuk Sri Panglima much liking is my uncle. So, the Kadazan blood, the Kadazan spirit of making our people to be known around the world and its identity and language was in the blood of my family, in the blood of my generation. And in this generation, I pondered for some time, and it was through my prayers that the Lord has answered me, that I've decided to establish this NGO and company-based, non-profit company-based called KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center. The main purpose of KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center is to preserve the identity, the culture, and the language of the Kadazan Kobion, but with a slight way of supplementing the existing Kadazan organization by way of productions. We are involved in an online production of video documentaries, film and Kadazan movies, and even songs, Kadazan songs. So our focus is more on the online platform, whereby I believe this is considered the most effective ways to preserve the identity of the Kadazan Kobion, the culture of the Kadazan Kobion, and the language, which is now our new generations are not familiar with, especially the mother tongue of Tanga or the Kadazan Penampang. And so many are concerned, many associations are concerned, but I, for the matter, is very positive that I said, if I want to immortalize the identity of Kadazan culture and language for the next 1,000 years, it can be done when we record video documentaries about the history of the Kadazan, the origin of the Kadazan. We can record video documentaries in Kadazan language, film and movies of the Kadazan, especially songs. And it will become like an evergreen Kadazan song for the next couple of 100 years. And we use the main platform of social media such as the YouTube and Facebook and WhatsApp group and Line and Vimeo. It will be permanently there unless YouTube is no more. But it will be permanently there, rest assured, for the next 150 to 200 years. Maybe 200 years from now, the people can still watch the video of the Kadazan. The people can still hear the songs, Kadazan song in the radio. Well, anyway, I'm a singer, by the way. I've composed about almost 10 songs, and even RTM of Sabah, the National Radio and Television of Malaysia, have accepted my songs. I compose it, and you can hear it broadcast in national radio in Kadazan language.
Kinamoto ko na haso. Ito na pang haso kababago na giti. Hantay mo. Tanda Tondo Kobion Kadazan kaditi. Man tadi hinaso di BSP JOH SEER Prof.Dr.J.Loudin. Kinamoto ko.
Om hoso gandoy du Tondo Kadazan Sinulampig niyo pihang Panahon o opyo do Kokitanay Hongon mo nga apantud Oy numangan ko tumoy mo Songyan po Doo hungguy zo Au kuhiban ati Hahangay binazang tondo kobiyon
And it will be there. Even like RTM Sabah, radio, Kadazan language have been there for the last 50, 60 years. And we can still hear the song being played, being heard by our community for the last 50 years. That is how to immortalize our language. Because I believe that language is the identity of a nation. If you want to know who are the Kadazan, let them speak, sing, promote the language of Kadazan. And you can say, oh, this is a Kadazan. He may look like a Chinese, he may look like a white man, but the moment he opens his mouth, her mouth to speak Kadazan language, he can identify that this is the Kadazan people. So in order to immortalize them, KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center is being created. The Lord has led me to do that. And I registered it officially under the Company Commission of Malaysia, and it has been duly registered and recognized. I make this official announcement, 25th of March 2020, KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center is duly registered as an NGO and company non-profit organization in Malaysia under the Company Commission of Malaysia. And that is the main core. So people are asking, there are so many associations, Kadazan Association that is existing now. Will there be a conflict of interest? And I said, no, I have checked. One of the biggest organizations like the KDCA, Kadazan Dusu Cultural Association, the main core is to preserve the annual Harvest Festival event and whatever that is related to it. They also run some kindergarten school of Kadazan, but they are mainly focusing in Sabah. But in my case, I am bringing it internationally because there are thousands of Kadazan that is outside Sabah today. And there are thousands of Kadazan children, intermarriage, Australian, New Zealand, in Thailand where I stay, in UK, there are so many. And in order for them to learn the language, in order for them to preserve the language and the art and the culture is, we have to go beyond these boundaries. And that is where the online media social platform play an important role. So when I produce through this channel of KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center video documentaries, as a matter of fact, we have a YouTube channel of KADAZAN Legacy Center where I have been uploading for the past 1 year lots and lots of Kadazan documentaries. To some extent, I speak in English and Bahasa as what I'm saying now. And so people can know the history of the Kadazan, the identity of the Kadazan, the culture and the language of the Kadazan. And it will be preserved permanently, immortalized on the YouTube channel. We also have Facebook group, about 6,000 members. And we also produce song and record and give it to the Malaysian radio broadcast and channel to be heard for the next 100 of years. And in order to produce that, we need to have a proper studio. And so, KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center Secretariat consists of not just a secretarial office, in which I've decided to use Thailand as the Southeast Asia Secretariat Office of the KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center, where my office, the Bishop office, is located here in Mysore. I've decided to make for the Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center as a studio to produce this video, movies, even radio online and songs. And we will upload it and it become permanently and can be seen all around the world for the next 3, 4, 500 years, as long as YouTube channel exists and Facebook exists and WhatsApp exists. So I have attained my desire. The nature of our activities, in which I'm looking to the education sector, I was saying that we need to have an online platform such as School Online, Kadazan Language College Online. You know why? Because the blueprint is there. In this modern day technology, famous secular universities like Oxford universities, Harvard universities, are now doing what we call the off-campus, online and distant learning, where at the comfort of your home and in your country, you don't need to come to the campus. They can provide for you a platform through videos, through internet line, and offer you the course at certificate, diploma, and even degree level. Harvard University is doing it now. Oxford is offering that online. So I said, well, this is amazing. Let me adapt. Let me have a Kadazan College school online and offer it either free for basic Kadazan people to learn, upload it on the YouTube channel of Kadazan Legacy Center, and let them learn the basic of Kadazan. And we get our certificate, diplomas of the college to be recognized worldwide. And so, in this initiative, I have registered the Kadazan Legacy Center with an international body like the United Nations indigenous sector. And they have accepted it in our data that we are the organization representing the Kadazan. I'm so happy that they have accepted. But also I have in mind to get our Kadazan College, whom I named the Kadazan College School Online Distant Learning, to be recognized. And one of the permission that I asked the company commission is in education sector. And I thank God that they have approved as one of the business code of Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center. The Company Commission of Malaysia has given permission to Kadazan Kobion Legacy Center to have a general school secondary private education. Secondary education, private. So that's where I'm going to invest a lot of my time and a lot of our mechanism to have a general school, college, educational, private, online. I want to follow the pattern of Harvard University and Oxford University. And then I'm in the process of registering our Kadazan College institution in Europe to be recognized by one of the biggest educational e-learning platform, which consists of more than 180 European university and college, to endorse our Kadazan College and accreditation and affiliation, in which my previous seminary college, the Holy Spirit Institute College, is a member, and I'm recommending them. And they have mutually agreed that they will recognize the Kadazan College School Online. They will recognize and endorse our level of educational certificate. And of course, we have more plan on that. And so I'm so happy in Malaysia, we are given that permission to have general school secondary education as a private education or pendidikan menengah am swasta. But I will be focusing first online, distant learning, where people can come or people around the world can study the language of Kadazan, the culture and the history of Kadazan online through many social medias. So I'm just happy to announce I am considered the founder, and we will also affiliate with the existing, like the Kadazan Dusun Cultural Association. We would like to affiliate with the Kadazan Society of Sabah and also the Kadazan Language Foundations, whereby they are focusing on book publication. But none of these existing Kadazan organizations have ever gone beyond Sabah, beyond Malaysia, to this platform. So that is why I say there is no conflict of interest, because we are supplementing this effort to preserve the identity. Our goal, our purpose is to preserve the identity. And to do that, we must have studios, we must have secretariat, we must have members to support us. Even the United Nations are expecting me within 2 years to have a massive members, whereby members of the KADAZAN KOBION Legacy Center, we have privileges to be sent as a representative to the United Nations on behalf of the KADAZAN KOBION Legacy Center, and also in education sector in Europe. In Europe, to represent us on the education sector of KADAZAN KOBION Legacy Center under Kadazan College. So we'll play a major role in all the indigenous people around the world. And perhaps through our expertise, through our preservation, how to maintain, how to preserve our identity, our human rights, our language, our culture, we can become an example of an indigenous people who have progressed and embraced the modern way of preserving our culture and immortalizing it for the next generation to come. Well, as the founder and a bishop, I will do my level best to perform my duties. At this point of time, we are building now the bishop office as well as the secretariat office of the Kadazan KOBION Legacy Center. We have invested about $25,000 to have an office and to have a recording studio to produce all these online products. And wherever branches and chapter is open around the world, and especially in Malaysia and in Sabah, there will be studios to produce and film, movie, song, and all the members will have a special privilege when we affiliate with other existing Kadazan organizations in many more activities. So this is a little bit of my introduction. I welcome all my Kadazan kins brothers around the world, in Sabah, in Malaysia, and around the world, to join force with me in our cause to preserve the identity of our people, the Kadazan Kobion, the culture of the Kadazan Kobion, and the language of the Kadazan Kobion. For the next 1,000 years, we shall be immortalized online through the platform of social media, and we shall immortalize our education sector through online platform, and we can give them education in knowing the history, the culture and the language, and other many arts of the people. We are the nations of Kadazan. I always say that the Kadazan people are peculiar people who have been created by God to exist in Sabah, in Malaysia, in Asia, and around the world. We have evolved. So this is my introduction. I welcome you into the KADAZAN Kobion Legacy Center. Kopi Vosian. Tagak no po bos o Kadazan, nga atagak no gi o tutunan toko sa magi no bangsa o Kadazan.